welcome back. We're going to continue our conversation with the Moms. There's a question from fans that I personally am really excited about. It was from Heidi Jackson, and there were a lot of likes on this. Dish out the embarrassing childhood stories. So, guys, just between us, nobody's watching. Tell me what you got. I mean, I can only imagine they were all little angels growing up. But anyone have anything to share?
Colette was a little angel.
Really?
Perfect. I found out a couple things after.
Oh, you always do that.
But there was one time that our son that's 2 years younger than her, her and him skipped out at night and went TPing. And they got caught. Oh. And the neighbor lady that caught them told them that they better go home and tell their parents, or she was going to tell them. And they were so worried. They went to school the next day, and they were all worried, and they had to wait till they got home from school. And I'd been someplace. I pull in their garage, and they come out to meet me, and they're, you told her. They're so worried. And they were so embarrassed that they got caught, and they tell me, we have something we have to tell you. And I mean, because these are two good kids, you know. Right. And they said, we snuck out last night, and we went TPing. And I said, you did? Whose toilet paper did you use? Do you know how expensive that is? Yeah, that's so funny. Don't be using mine for that.
So you didn't care that they did it. You were just mad that your toilet paper was gone.
Well, they didn't use mine. They had bought their own.
Oh, well, good thing you extra good.
One other one, so we had always told our kids they couldn't date until they were 16. And, but of course, there's boyfriends, girlfriends, liking, you know, junior high loves and stuff. And there was a kid a couple years older than Colette that was really liking her. And, oh, she thought this was wonderful. She thought it was love. And she was trying to get our approval to be able to go into town with a group of kids. But we knew he was going to be there. And we told her absolutely not, because we knew that they would pair off, and you know, she, at her age, she couldn't go do this. She? I don't know, maybe 13, maybe 14. I don't remember for sure. But she was really, really upset with us. One of the very, very few times that there was some anger from Colette with parents. And she wrote a note to one of her girlfriends at school the next day saying, my parents don't even know what love is. And the note was intercepted by the teacher. And the teacher called her dad and gave him the note. So he still has this note.
That is so funny.
Oh, that's good.
My parents don't even know.
But other than that, if she was embarrassed, I guess we didn't know about it.
that was good.
Yeah.
Well, I have been thinking about this, but our family, we don't get embarrassed. we
could
don't. We embarrass other people, and we're just kind of out there, and so we don't really get embarrassed. But I will tell a story to kind of embarrass Carly. Loved, you know, 8th grade. She had a boyfriend named Luke Butler. I don't know if I can say his last name. Well, anyway, and she loved him. She loved him, and we had we were upstairs, and all of a sudden she came out and she dropped to the floor like she had been shot. I'm thinking, what is wrong with her? And she says, Luke just broke up with me. But I seriously, I mean, she dropped like a sack of flowers, like boom, flat on the floor. And I'm looking at her like, what is wrong with you? But, you know, experiencing love for the first time and heartbroken.
That is funny, though.
People get embarrassed that are around us for our family, but we don't care.
That is awesome. And think the world is a better place for that. I love that. I love thinking about Carly. It's just fun to think about them at those young ages being so full of this emotion and passion. And it's really cute. Thank you for sharing that. Deborah?
Oh, You know, I think Michelle was just so paranoid of being embarrassed that she would just like not want to be late for anything because she didn't want to walk in front of a classroom of everybody looking at her being late. So I think it's really hard to think of something specific for her because I don't even recall that she was such a good kid.
Oh, that's so interesting though. Was she shy?
Yeah, she actually was. That's why I'm surprised that she does YouTube because maybe because it's a camera and not an audience, you know, per se. But I think, you know, other than that, I think I can't recall any time that she's ever been that.
But that's fun just to know. I mean, it's just fun to get a sense of, you know, I think viewers have gotten to know them and love them so much, and I feel that way. So it's just fun to hear, to imagine her as a child being shy or being paranoid about that is actually, it's really sweet. Jocelyn?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I didn't really think of an embarrassing thing. I have a funny story that it can be embarrassing in some way, but it was more funny. You know, when she was like 9, 10 or 8, something like 8, 9, 10, we were having a lot of guests on Saturday night often, you know, and then after dinner she would prepare a little sketch, dance or acting or getting costume and gave us tickets and have our place, you know, you know, like the old and she was telling like a funny story, and every time she would say the same story about the camel, you know, and for her it was like a new story, you know, and she was but she was telling it maybe in a new way, but it was always the same thing. We were all laughing at that. I think that she was telling the same thing again, you know.
That's so funny.
Yeah, no, and it's like the same sketch. She was, you know, she was doing a creative thing, you know, dress differently and talk about her friends or, you know, story, but it will all turn around the same thing, even if it was creative. It was like really funny, you know, like we all sit there and we were laughing because we were really enjoying it, you know.
It's so funny. She's like, you'll never believe what'll happen next. You guys are like, yes, we do know. That's so funny. That's so cute. I want the dirt on Kaylee.
You know, it's hard to believe because she's so sweet now, but when she was a little girl, she was so honest that it would embarrass me because she would tell people they looked pregnant when they didn't, or that their house was messy, or you could see the wheels turning in her mind. She would just be looking at something and I think, let's go, time to go. And I'd scream because I could tell something was coming that should not be coming out of her mouth. But I did think of one story. When she was a teenager, whenever we would leave home, I could guarantee the minute we pulled out of the driveway, the boys were pulling in behind us. And I would say, Kaylee, no boys while we're gone. And I could guarantee they would be there while we were gone. And one time we'd been gone, we came home, and I said, Kaylee, did you have boys at the house? Absolutely not. And a couple days later, she gave me film to be developed. This was before digital cameras, so I actually had film. And I went and had it developed, and I came home, and of course, as a mother, you want to see what's on her camera. I took it out, and there's boys in their underwear that she had took pictures of. And I'm going, she's taking pictures of boys in their underwear. And I go, in my house! Oh my God! They were in my house.
That is the terrible part. The underwear, whatever. In my house.
She's doing Playgirl in my home. No?
Wait, okay. You have to explain a little bit more here because I'm dying. What was she doing? She just pictures?
I don't know. You'll have to ask her. All I know is they were all in a line, posing and flexing in underwear.
I hope she was rating them.
I don't know. You're going to have to ask her. That's another episode.
My daughter-in-law.
It wasn't Casey.
That's so
Casey
funny.
wasn't one of them.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So none of them stacked up. She was checking them all out, but then she was like, I know. It's Casey. That is so funny.
I do have to tell you that this is a funnier story, so you can just delete the other story.
No, we want them all.
When Carly was learning to drive, I wanted all my kids to learn to drive stick. So we had a little Ford Escort, and Carly was driving. Of course, she had on this short little Levi's skirt, and we were on a hill. And if any of you know how, when you're learning to drive stick on a hill, it's really hard to get the clutch and the gas and at the same time. Well, and I was just crocheting, sitting in the driver's side crocheting while we're having driver's lessons. I'm telling her to do this. Well, she gets on this hill, and she gets so frustrated, she jumps over the seat in her skirt and gets in the back seat. And I said, what are you doing? She goes, I cannot do this. I said, what are you doing? There's a car behind us. And I said, I am not moving. So I just sat there and crocheted. And I said, we are not moving until you get back over the seat and drive this car.
Oh my gosh.
So eventually she did crawl back over the seat. And I don't know why she didn't go out the door, but she crawled over the seat and proceeded.
It was just a faster way. If she was having were people honking? And
Oh, yes.
oh my gosh.
But like I said, we don't get embarrassed.
Right, you're just like, all right. That is so funny. Thank you guys. I've enjoyed myself immensely during that experience. I wonder how the moms will feel. I only have one more question for you. It's in honor of Mother's Day. Just, I would love to hear something that you think of from your own mother, something that she taught you about parenting or about life, and maybe something that you have tried to give as advice to your own daughter about parenting.
You know, of course our mothers give us tons of advice and it's hard to pinpoint one thing.
Right.
But what my mother does now for me is the sweetest, cutest little thing. Anytime she's coming to, and she knows she's going to be with me, she will always wear some earrings or a necklace or something that I have given her, she will always wear. And that is just the cutest, most subtle little thing to me. And she didn't think I noticed, but I had mentioned to her once, and it was, to me, that's just a very sweet thing for her to do.
That's so nice.
Very nice. Yeah, and my mom used to be so playful with us. We were 6 kids, so it was like, you know, around a lot of family. And she was like always, you know, happy about the kids. And, you know, I feel like the same way with my kids. You know, it was, for me, kids are fun, you know, and the fun and it's life, you know, like, you know, you all have kids, so like it's really the thing to have in life, you know. It's the future of life. And like to my daughter, I don't know, I don't really need to give her advice. I think she's such a loving mother. She has a lot of patience, and she's such a loving mother, and she loves her child, and she tries to do the best. So like, you know, I'm not really, you know, you do that, or maybe I should give you this advice. The only thing I think I tell her is like, the child is her own child, and he has his own personality, and you just have to give him confidence and love him, and make the best of, you know, that they will be self-determined, if I can say, you know, like self-determined, you know, like you're not there to overprotect them, you're there so they can just have take their wings and go off. So that's kind of advice.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, what I can remember of my mom, because she passed away when I was very young, is her laughter. And I always want my kids to be happy. And that's kind of a goal I have for my kids, that they're doing the right thing and they're happy in their life. And that's kind of the advice I give them, you know, do what makes you happy and teach your kids the right way. And like I think I have, so that's kind of where I'm at with that.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
I'm really close to my mom, so I've always wanted that with Kayli too, because you know, it's so important to me. But she always was such a good cook and such a good housekeeper, and so I've always wanted to be, you know, she always gave service to other people. If someone was sick, she was making them food. It seems like I'd come home from school, and that's what I remember the most, is she was doing something for other people. And so that's something I've always tried. I'm not as good at, you know, at it as her, but I just think she was a good example to me. I try to be a good example to Kayli. I think that's the best thing that you can do. I think probably the best advice I've ever given Kayli is just be the best you can. And that's good enough.
This is when I'm receiving wisdom here. This is wonderful.
And I would just have to say ditto, ditto, because I feel the same and have the same experiences as they have said. And our example is the best thing we can do, I think.
What a lovely way to end this episode. The examples that you have set for your daughters are obviously wonderful ones, because they've each turned out to be so extraordinary as women and as mothers, and they've inspired so many people, and they inspire me on a daily basis. And I just thank you so much. This has been really, really extraordinary and special to have you all here. to share your wisdom and your humor and to just be with us on this Mother's Day. In honor of Mother's Day, I want to say I love you, Mom. You're a wonderful mother, and I'm very grateful to you. I love you a lot. And let's say bye to our viewers. Thank you, guys. Bye. Thank you for being here. Leave comments and questions below. We're going to get them back as much as we can. So, happy Mother's Day. Have a good day.
Mother's Day.
Kiss your mothers. Bye.